Thank you and welcome to the show today. The topic today is minority health issues, and we're fortunate to have with us this morning to talk about minority health issues Miss LMcClellan from Meharry Medical College, and of course Miss McClellan is with the Sickle Cell Project at Meharry Medical College, and with Miss McClellan is Miss TLester. Miss Lester is with the Metropolitan Health Department. And Miss McClellan and Miss Lester, let me welcome both of you to the show this morning to talk about what I consider to be a very, very important issue today, and that is minority health issues. Let's start off, Miss McClellan, by having you and later Miss Lester to have the two of you to give us some information about your background, your education, and some of the things that were important in your careers in terms of leading you to where you are today. And then we'll talk about some of the issues that we're here to address, that is minority health issues. Let's start off with you, Ms. McClellan, and then have Ms. Lester to give us similar kind of information.
Okay. I'm a native Nashvilleian. I went to local schools, Pearl High School, finished in 1969, a little while ago. I have a master's in public health education and a bachelor's degree in social work. And I've always been interested in working with people. I'm very talkative, so I like to talk.
Good, very good talk.
Get out in the community and talk about sickle cell disease. And that's been one of the driving forces behind my career for 21 years. I've been with the program at Meharry for about 21 years.
Very good. Ms. Lester, what about you in the Metropolitan Health Department?
Well, I'm not a native Nashvilleian. I've been here, though, for about 17 years, so about most of my career has been in Nashville. I am a nurse by profession. I went to the University of Florida in Gainesville, and I received my bachelor's of nursing there. I have worked in hospitals, I've worked in clinics, in doctors' positions, doctors' offices, but my first love has always been preventive medicine. So I went back to Vanderbilt and got my master's of nursing in nursing administration. And my goal was to work in settings where we would provide preventive information, first in a clinic setting and then out into the community. I am married to a physician, and so the talk of medicine and prevention is in my home on a daily basis. And I'm honored to be here with you today.
Very good. And let me thank both of you for being here today. You know, Ms. McClellan, I think one of the issues that we have seldom had an opportunity to talk about dealing with minority health issues, and that is the issue of sickle cell anemia. Let's have you, since you've been involved with this for the last 20-odd years, let's have you to sort of give our audience layman kind of information in reference to this disease and what this disease and why this disease is peculiar, perhaps, to African Americans. Let's do it from that perspective.
Okay. Sickle cell anemia is the most frequently identified of the sickle cell diseases, and many people are not aware that there is more than one type of sickle cell disease. But we most often hear about sickle cell anemia. It is an inherited blood disease. That means that it's passed from parents to their children before they're born, and it's not something that you can catch from another person or from eating certain types of food. You have to be born with it. It is a disease that can cause a number of severe medical problems related to, most likely, pain is one of the hallmarks of sickle cell disease, where the red blood cells in the body, which are responsible for carrying oxygen, have a tendency to change from a round shape to a shape sort of like a banana. And that's how the disease got its name, because the cells curve like a farmer's sickle. But a lot of people have never seen a farmer's sickle, so we use different analogies today, sort of like a banana. And when this happens, the cells become very stiff, and they don't move very easily in the blood vessels in the body. They have a tendency to clump together and form clots, especially in the very small blood vessels called the capillaries. This can occur in any part of the body, and wherever it happens, it causes pain, which can range from very mild pain to severe pain requiring hospitalization and treatment with very strong painkillers. A lot of people think that sickle cell disease has been cured because you don't hear as much about it now. It's not as popular as it was in 1972 when Nixon enacted the Sickle Cell Disease Control Act. But we still see the need for providing services to the community. In our state here in Tennessee, all babies born, regardless of race or ethnic background, are tested before they leave the hospital for not only sickle cell, but for other disorders as well. So we're identifying babies early, but we still need to get to the parents of those babies to provide appropriate information in regards to their risk, because 1 out of every 10 persons of African descent has sickle cell trait, and that is not a disease, but a carrier condition where the person has the tendency to pass on one gene for sickle hemoglobin.
And so this disease can be passed on from parent to child, and what you're trying to do is to sort of deal with it at the level of the infant. What?
Well, the emphasis now is on early identification of those infants. But having been in the program for so long, we realize that it takes 2 parents to make those babies, and that parents need to have the opportunity to be identified before the birth of a child so that they can make the informed decisions regarding reproduction, whether or not they want to take the risk. They have other options available to them. We had a project at one point called the Counseling at-Risk Couples Project, which was designed mainly to identify those couples at risk prior to the birth of an affected child. However, after funding stopped, you know, it was federally funded for 5 years, we still felt the need to do that. We go out into the community and provide on-site screening for any person at risk for sickle cell disease.
Very good. You know, Ms. Lester, I think that she's mentioned one very, very important disease dealing with African Americans. And I think that generally we can come up with a whole litany of various kinds of diseases that impact upon African Americans more than any other group. And I think in a real sense, that's what your situation is today, to deal with that from the Metropolitan Health Department's point of view. Let's talk about what you do and how what you do fit into what Ms. McClellan is doing.
Well, I'm on a team concept from the health department. We organized about a year and a half ago what we called regional teams, and each team was placed in a region of the city where we dealt with priorities and health needs of that community in the region we were located. One of the things that we found in the northwest area of town was a higher number of women with breast cancer. And we find with minority women where they don't get breast cancer as often as the other races, they tend to die more frequently from it. And the reason is because when the breast cancer is discovered, it's in a more advanced stage, and their options of treatment and of being able to survive the disease are pretty low at that point in time. So as a regional team, we set out in the Northwest community to educate those women most at risk for breast cancer. And we gave them the 3 components that we feel are very important for women to use in order to protect themselves from breast cancer. Breast cancer can't be prevented, but early detection is the way to survive it at long range. And there's a 95% survival rate if it's found early. The 3 components of trying to get your survival rate at a level of 95% is first, you do self-breast exam, and we urge women to do it on a monthly basis. Part of our training is showing them exactly how to do it. Takes 10 minutes out of each month. The second one is we urge them to go to their physician or healthcare provider for a clinical exam. And we ask women to start doing that at the age of 20 years or older.
And let me interrupt you here, Ms. Lester, for our first commercial break.